I have my friend Jeetu, who's volunteered to read Scorpio Man with us. Thank you, Jeetu, for taking time out.
Completely my pleasure, Chetan.
Jeetu, you've been a buddy. You've been my party buddy. We've met very recently, but we've really hit it off. I want to know from you, while you were reading, I could, hear a lot of laughter, a lot of giggle, a lot of chuckles, a lot of emotion coming out of you, which you are a very emotional and passionate guy that I know you. Tell me any highlights that you really, really thought that was spot on and maybe got Jeetu kind of cornered.
Condescending bits and pieces of the Scorpio Man that I read was a very, very good read for sure. And perfection bit, grooming bit, the restaurant bit, the kind of woman that a Scorpio Man would ideally like and be out with as a girlfriend or a wife was especially very, very interesting.
Oh, nice. The grooming bit. I mean, I see that you actually do shave your hands in your chest, which is something written. And I was telling Chetan while we were recording that, I've met you now, but the book has been written about 2 years or 3 years ago. So, we're in 2012 now. And the book was written in 2009, released in 2010. I didn't know you then. I really didn't know you would be doing all this, but this is amazing, isn't it?
Spot on, if I would say. Absolutely spot on.
How, I wonder, really. Am I so good?
Absolutely.
No, but tell me, anything specific? Like I remember there were bits and parts where I could, actually, say this is Jeetu. I kept telling Chetan, this is completely Jeetu. This is how he behaves.
I'll tell you in what portions, as I said before. The grooming, the personal innuendo stuff, and all of that is what made you feel that it might be spot on.
Yeah. There's this part where how is a Scorpio man when he's alone? That was something that I actually was trying to figure out. I mean, you and I are very alike. I'm not a Scorpio. But you don't like to be alone. You like company, you like people around you, don't you?
Times and portions of the day where I like people and being around with people is okay. But there are also certain portions of the day or the evening where I'm best at when I'm alone.
Okay. But at that point also you'll be maybe chatting with someone, talking to someone. There's some connectivity constantly with people is that's what I'm trying to say.
Likely to some extent, but largely it would be looking towards the empty open skies.
So you do enjoy your alone time and that peace and that serenity that you require. Yeah?
Most essentially, because it gives you a lot of time to unwind, think, be with yourself, feel your thoughts, just go along the flow with your inner self.
Agreed.
That's the best part of the day that I like the most.
Awesome. So good to know that personal side of you, Jeetu. Thank you for doing this with us.
Completely my pleasure. Completely
Cheers,
my
buddy.
pleasure, Chetan.
Cheers, brother. Thanks.
Scorpio Man, 23rd October to 23rd November. Boundless energy is the term that comes to my mind when I think of Scorpio men. They're so full of life and vitality that it's no wonder they manage to do umpteen tasks in a day. But the catch is that with the Scorpio men, their passion borders dangerously on obsession. Extremely fond of good clothes and good food, you might find them indulging in either of these quite often. But being extremely attached to their money, they can balance their indulgences as well. In fact, so deep is their love for the moolah that they are frequently seen taking measures to double it. While this man is fun to be with, he can become possessive of his relationships, especially with his girlfriends. Life with him undoubtedly be a passionate affair, but like every passion, it has its fallouts. Living life in excess, being with a Scorpio man, is a catch-22 situation. If he loves you, God help you. If he hates you, God help you double quick. The Scorpio guy can go around like a whirlwind, carrying everyone along in his frenzy and fantasy. If you are with a Scorpio man, gear up for one hell of a ride. How can you identify a Scorpio man in a crowd? A Scorpio man displays the right mix of passion and composure. He is passionate about work, help, conversations, dressing, food, and just about everything else. Around 70% Scorpio men come across as passive in nature, but can get aggressive if provoked. The 30% who are actually aggressive can behave passively and diplomatically when needed. It is quite easy to identify a Scorpio man in a crowd. He's the one, smooth talking everyone, especially women. If not that, you will find him in intense conversation involving money, work and investments, generally about stuff related to economics. Known to be extremely enterprising, he has growth on his mind, always. It's not surprising to find a Scorpio man getting maximum promotions in an office environment. This could be one of the reasons for Scorpion man's arrogance. What are the key features of his personality? If there is a goddess of passion, then Scorpion men are their true devotees. So much is this man taken in by whatever he does that it leaves no other words for him but passionate. And his passion often makes him go into excess with everything he does, believing in living a larger-than-life existence. A Scorpio man will let his hair down in any enterprise that catches his fancy, from working in the wee hours of the night to partying till morning. In spite of the burning ardor he has within, it gets rarely displayed on his face. He has a cool dude image, which at times is carried to the extremes of coldness. But it should not be mistaken for indifference, as he is concerned about all and sundry that touches his life. A Scorpio man is shrewd in a work or a business scenario. He likes to deal from a position of power and prefers to be the dominant player. But he won't be your typical action hero, delivering the kicks and punches on screen. Rather, he would be the man behind the scenes, the director calling the shots. That's where his shrewdness comes into the picture. Unlike his female counterpart, the man is not interested in hogging the limelight. All he wants is to have his way and achieve his goals. Coming back to his core characteristic, passion. There are many consequential traits that appear in a Scorpio man due to his passionate nature. His passion can make him extremely obsessive. Once he gets obsessed with an idea or a thought, he is like one possessed and there's no stopping him. But his passion is what gives him high energy levels and sportsmanship. He is always buzzing and unabated energy and therefore leads a very active life. You will seldom find him lazing around, and even when he is resting, his mental wheels are on the move, churning out new ideas and strategies. And with his passion comes daring, a rare courage to do and act as he deems right, not one to conform to rules laid down by others. The Scorpio man likes to be a trailblazer in everything. But if he encounters someone superior than himself, he has the humility to respect and admire that person. He also scores high on sincerity, but this quality varies in different circles of life. For instance, while he would put in sincere efforts at work, getting a 9 on 10 for it, his earnestness towards his life might take a dip to 7 on 10. Again, his innate shrewdness tells him where and when and how much he needs to be sincere. This could probably be because of his personal mantra, a la the Virgo male, what's in it for me? Another quality he shares with his Virgo counterpart is that of being a critic. But unlike Virgo men, whose sole intent is finding faults with others, Scorpio males are more refined in their criticism, using a good deal of diplomacy and tact. Some might even consider their criticism as constructive. Scorpio men also score highly on creativity, 9 on 10. Known to have a fertile imagination and a razor-sharp mind, they are very good at creative jobs and are often found excelling in the performing arts, media-related work and fine arts. They make excellent speakers, courtesy their good communication skills, especially when it comes to their emotions. Don't be surprised if you catch your Scorpio friend begin a monologue, filled with dramatic punchlines in the midst of an emotional situation. On the flip side, the Scorpio male is manipulative. He is capable of scheming and plotting to achieve his ends. Like the female Scorpio, he can manipulate people and situations to get his way, but his worst trait is his unforgiving nature. Those who have erred or hurt a Scorpio man better get ready to pay up, for this man is full of vengeance and venom if hurt. Apparently, he doesn't believe in the saying, "Revenge will be mine, saith the Lord." To him, revenge has to be his. How is he on the following aspects? Appearance. He is extremely stylish and fashionable. He is amongst the first few, like the Aries man, to adopt and adapt to new trends and fashions. His looks and appearance matter to him a lot, and he is very cautious of the same. Both Scorpio men and women have fiery eyes. A Scorpio man likes to be well groomed, to the extent of carrying a comb in his pocket. His need to always be immaculate is so intense that he won't even shy away from shaving his chest to go swimming. That's grooming to a T, I'd say. Ambition. Scorpio men are very enterprising and have tremendous risk-taking ability. No matter what field he is in, for a Scorpion, the sky is the limit. If he likes you, he will not hesitate to share his ideas with you. But yes, he can get superstitious about his plans. But on the whole, be it his own venture or someone else's, a Scorpio man is a great motivator, with a warm and affectionate nature. This makes him extremely popular. Ego and self-respect. Unless you get to know him well, you will never know what a big ego he has. His tactfully humble and diplomatic nature usually shields the egocentric man that he could be, or is. He is extremely sensitive and emotional, and possesses great amount of self-respect too, and this gets reflected in his attitude. I have noticed that a Scorpio male for most part is extremely quiet and subtle. Unless completely cornered or provoked, he is not the one to create scenes by walking out or away from someone. Responsibility. Here is one man who wants to have everything, have his cake and eat it too, while through his behavior and speech he would come across as responsible. A Scorpio man is essentially accountable only for the things he desires or wants to get done. Apart from that, he is not so dependable. Moreover, since he wants to squeeze out so much from life and the material world, he is often seen biting off more than he can chew. This makes him less reliable and slightly irresponsible. But let me add a word here in his defense. It is largely because he is overcommitted. Etiquettes. This is one area wherein our man scores a low 6 on 10. Carefree and casual in his stance. A Scorpio man is too relaxed to follow the rules of social decorum. Also, you will never find him complaining if others around him are as casual as him. What is his approach towards life? Where a Scorpio man is concerned, it's all about acquisition. His life, his wife, his children, his home, his profession, each and every aspect is an extension of his personality. Anything and everything that matters has to be done in style. This attribute leads him to working dedicatedly and shrewdly towards creating ways to fund his dreams and projects. With a bearish approach towards all and sundry, he would try to exercise his dominance in all spheres of life, especially on the work front. His desire to always be in control of things makes him a good leader and initiator. At the same time, his tendency to go green whenever anyone scores over him or cuts him off can sometimes make him terribly aggressive and negative in his attitude towards others. How does he score on the following points? Cynicism. A Scorpio man can be very cynical, though you will rarely know or notice it. He is an achiever and would go great lengths to achieve success, and this tinge of cynicism in his attitude helps him forge ahead. Suspicion, jealousy. This is one man who wouldn't stop till he confirms or does away with his suspicions if given a reason. He is the worst person to be with when he is in an apprehensive mood. He is generally suspicious about everything, people around him, competitors and colleagues. Perhaps this characteristic of his makes him a good entrepreneur too, being always watchful and on his guard. In a competitive scenario, he is always alert lest his rivals get ahead of him. Scorpio men are as jealous as, shall we say, Leo men, or more. The slightest glance or change in an attitude can make them go the deepest shade of green. This arises from an extremely possessive nature. Dishonesty and infidelity. A Scorpio male is incapable of accepting dishonesty or infidelity on his partner's part, but he is quite likely to commit either or both. Can't blame him. The guy is charming and has so much love to give. Hardships. Because he is an ace risk taker, hardships become a part of a Scorpio man's life, but thankfully he knows that any kind of difficulty is never forever, and he has the courage to overcome life's setbacks. Success and failure. Success to a Scorpio man is a benchmark that he has set, and every milestone he plans is on a higher level than the last. He can be very vocal and display his success in public, but will be genuinely humbled on receiving compliments for his success. Scorpio men are definitely not very graceful losers. Given that they are achievers and like winning, they find it difficult to accept failures in life. But there is this huge reservoir of energy that they bank upon. Energy from this reservoir never lets them be down for long, with guts to fight and vigor to bounce back into the arena. Scorpions will never accept complete defeat. Host. With his casual approach towards etiquette, a Scorpio host can be very laid back and relaxed in his attitude. For him, home delivery rocks. His bit in making his party a success will be his social skills. He will be at his entertaining best with his guests, and they will never feel the dearth of intelligent and amusing conversations with their Scorpion host. Guest. As a guest, he is not too picky, but can get very critical about the ambience, food and other guests. But generally, he will remain well pleased if his host is attentive and takes care of his comforts. He is comfortable and mingling around if in a bigger party, or be very involved and intimate in conversation if in a small group. How does he handle difficult situations? Passion is the governing factor in everything a Scorpion does, including quarrels, arguments, debates, crossfires, and even informal discussions can set him off and being opinionated. He participates wholeheartedly. In case of a quarrel, he will rarely be passive or submissive. Moreover, he likes winning, and you will find him talking his way into convincing others that it is actually not his fault. The diplomat that he is, he would, of course, not openly say that the fault lies with his opponent. I have often found myself opinioning to my Scorpion friends about how they'd make brilliant politicians. What is his characteristic weakness? That has got to be his tendency to overcome it. Like I had mentioned before, in his urge to do too many things at the same time, he is always falling short of fulfilling his commitments. This obviously makes him unreliable. Because of his habit of saying yes to anyone and everyone, he is seen running pillar to post to meet deadlines. Is there more to his persona? Yes, there is a dark side to the passionate Scorpio man's personality. There are certain aspects to him that I have found unique only to Scorpions. Apart from wealth, prosperity, and happiness, the one thing that preoccupies a Scorpio man's mind is death. The inevitable stop to all his enterprise. A Scorpio man is afraid of death and disaster. He is therefore an easy victim to superstitions and the knickknacks that accompany it. He is curious to know what his future holds and is likely to take the aid of astrology, tarot reading and numerology for it. Another factor that keeps him in check is public. He knows his image depends a lot on what the general public thinks about him, and so is very conscious about creating a positive public image and opinion. For this, he will focus on his dress, grooming, the car he travels in, the restaurants he eats at, etc. He is forever striving to make good impression on people around him. A Scorpio is not satisfied with anything and is always in constant need to do more and get more. He believes in living life king-size and has the courage and vision to achieve it. The word mediocre does not figure in a Scorpio man's dictionary, but sometimes He can go overboard with it and wants everything in excess, be it food and drink or work and entertainment. A Scorpio man will want to do too much of all of this. Not all his excess, however, go unpunished. For instance, he would lose out on his private life as he drowns himself in work. A Scorpio is not very realistic, but his nature is an unconventional balance with practicality. He is also highly emotional and sentimental, but finds it difficult to forgive and forget. How should one deal effectively with a Scorpio man? It is wisest to hold on to your cards when you are with a Scorpio male. You will have to use tact and diplomacy while dealing with him. Any untoward word or action can be detrimental to his ego, and then you would say the worst of him. While in love, you will have to indulge in a game of cat and mouse with him. Play hard to get and see if he retracts. If he does, tease him a little and make him come back. Believe me, he will enjoy this as much as you. Also remember not to arouse his anger. He is not the best person to be with when angry. If you rub him the wrong way, you will get a lashing you'll never forget. Boy, this man knows how to get back at you. Since he tends to be vindictive, it is best to play it straight with him. If you hurt or betray him, that could very well be the end of the story for you and your relationship with him. A Scorpio man will do anything for his loved ones, but don't expect him to change. He will improve himself as per his calculations, but not for anyone else. So it is best to let him be. He is also prone to emotional outbursts, and during such moments, don't try to bully him. Like everything else, he likes to manage his emotions himself. How does he handle money matters? A Scorpio man likes to earn, spend and save. He is unquestionably one of the smartest and the shrewdest of men when it comes to money. He can also be a gambler because of his risk-taking ability and an innate urge to make money. His compassionate side makes him available to friends and family when in need. The funny part about Scorpio man and money is that he is very good with other people's money. He knows, whether intuitively or with experience, exactly how to make others put their money on him and utilize it to make profits for himself. How is he on the professional front? The Scorpio male is the most determined and focused of men that I have ever met. So intense is his desire to win, to achieve and to succeed that nothing he does will ever be enough for him. He has very high standards regarding achievements and will put in 100% efforts to attain his goals. Many a time, his personal life and love interests are sacrificed in the bargain. At work, a Scorpio man is very much like an eagle circling the skies, on a lookout for a prey. Like the predatory bird, he will watch his target with unflinching eyes, work towards it and scoop in to grab his prize in a flash, and win he must at any cost. How is he in various relationship roles? As a son, the Scorpio boy yearns for his independence, but at the same time has no qualms in being independent on his parents for small luxuries, like fuel for his bike. If he has been respected and loved as a child, he would reciprocate the same to his parents. With friends, he is extremely adjusting and easygoing, although devoted towards them. He is often committed at multiple places because of his popularity. The most dominant emotion that he would display towards his girlfriend or his spouse is passion. Therefore, it is of utmost importance for his woman to know how to keep his interest, keep his passion alive in order to keep him for herself. As a father, he is a disciplinarian and expects his kids to be well-mannered. Some Scorpio men I have met are extremely attached to their children, while some, because of their overcommitted nature and love for work and money, have their priorities sorted another way. How is he when alone? If there is any man who shouldn't be left alone, it's him, the incorrigible Scorpio man. He needs constant company to talk to argue, to entertain and be entertained, and to prove again and yet again that he is the best. While alone, he is prone to think like the devil, a harmful repercussion for him and those around him. How is he when in love? I think he can go completely blind when in love. Since he is obsessive by nature, he gets obsessive about his relationship and expects the same from his partner too. You need to have a lot of energy to keep up with him. He is entertaining, adventurous, fun-loving and passionate. But the slightest casual attitude from you can get him to lose interest and focus his attention elsewhere. He can be unforgiving in situations like these. He has a magnetic personality, and women often find themselves gravitating into his field of influence. But he is selective about the women he dates. No matter how many females fall for him, he will pick only the one who fits in his image of a perfect woman. An important aspect of a Scorpio man's love is his concept of the ideal. To him, the woman in his life should conform to the ideal female he has in mind. And no, she did not be like his mother. Moreover, don't try to entice him for fun, because once he is on your trail, it will be impossible to shake him off. If you seriously have feelings for him, then only go for it. Otherwise, it is advisable to stay away. And don't even think of giving him any heartbreak. He will give you one in return, and you will never be able to forget it in your lifetime. What does he look for in his partner? As I said earlier, to the Scorpio man, his partner is an extension of his personality, of who he is. With most Scorpio males desiring trophy wives, they usually seek someone who is good-looking, has an appetite for satisfying his emotional and physical needs, and is sensible and capable enough to maintain his empire on the home front. It is of utmost importance to a Scorpio man that his woman has a spotless reputation. Since he gives a lot of significance to public opinion, he cannot abide by the fact that his girl has a tainted past. While dating him, you should never be mushy. Although this guy is as emotional as any other, he hates the flow of sentiments and heart-rending emotions. He likes to keep it simple and straightforward with emotions. Keep your feelings in check and be ready to have a blast. It would be repetitive to mention how passionate his approach towards dating can be. He looks at every aspect of life with verve, and dating is quite a prominent factor here. Expect him to come dressed to kill. If you spy on him before meeting up, you can catch him checking out his profile in the restaurant glass. On your first date, let him talk. Remember, he is opinionated about everything and is likely to make his feelings heard. Give him a patient hearing and you will find yourself getting involved in his ardent repartee. You will have to be a complete woman, from grooming to behavior, as he is the epitome of masculinity. He would expect you to do all things womanly and do them with finesse. Don't try to dominate him in any way. He won't like it at all. And let him make the first move. Patience can get you a long way with a Scorpio man, and it would be totally worth it. Dating a Scorpio guy can be a fabulous experience, as he is daring, adventurous, and also extravagant to a great extent. He will date you in style and do everything that he thinks can impress you. But that's the catch here. He would prefer doing things his way, and if you resist, he can manipulate you to liking his way. A last word. If you have managed to turn him off, then yours is a lost cause for sure. No matter what you do, he is not likely to come back to you. He doesn't believe in wasting his precious emotions on someone who won't reciprocate it in a similar fashion. With emotions, as with everything else in his life, he swings to the extremes. He either loves or hates it. There is no in-between for him. While dating a Scorpio guy, make the most of it or forget it. Compatibility quotient. Should one match passion with passion or balance it out with patience and forbearance? Should one submit to possessive or aggressive behavior or hold one's stand? Answer to these questions can lead to a better understanding of what is compatible with a Scorpio man. How easy or difficult is it to get along with a Scorpio guy? Here are some answers. Scorpio Man and Aries woman. 7 on 10. She has the vivacity to match his passionate nature, and he has the intensity to keep her interested. But she should learn to curb her controlling nature, while he should rest his possessive mind a bit. With a good amount of understanding, this relationship can work out pretty well. Taurus woman. 5 on 10. A difficult match. Both can try each other's patience to the limits. He will find it hard to cope with his stubbornness, while she will be perturbed by his secretiveness. Gemini woman. 4 on 10. This combination might result in clashes, as the Scorpio man is too possessive to suit a Gemini woman. She is also too impatient and wild to be able to adjust with his dominating nature. Cancer woman. 9 on 10. These two can, between themselves, redefine perfection. The passion in him will be complemented by the romantic in her. He will be able to draw her out, and she will find it easy to communicate her feelings in his presence. He can give her the security she wants, while she will put him on a pedestal, something that would please him infinitely. Leo woman. 4 on 10. A good deal of anger management will be required at both ends to make this relationship work. Both are bossy and impatient. She can get frivolous at times, while he will find it difficult to fulfill her desires for affection and warmth. Virgo woman. 8 on 10. This relationship can go a long way. The Scorpio man's passion will be matched by the Virgo woman's romance. Further, they will balance each other well, especially with his emotions and her pragmatism. Her femininity will be an add-on. Libra woman. 6 on 10. Not a very good match, but it can work if both learn to adjust. His bossiness will irk her, while her love for freedom might keep the mercury of his suspicions always on the rise. Scorpio woman. 8 on 10. Once the Scorpio man learns to take the admiring glances thrown at his female counterpart in a sporting way, this relationship can work admirably well. Both share a lot in common and are therefore likely to understand each other better. However, both will have to rein in their egos. Sagittarius woman. 4 on 10. This union lacks the basic essentials of a good match, romance and depth. She is too playful for his passionate disposition, while he is too forceful to suit her outgoing nature. Capricorn woman. 9.5 on 10. A fantastic combination that works for both. The Scorpio man has the tact of bringing the Capricorn woman out of her shell. She, on the other hand, will offer the loyalty and dependability he looks for in a woman. Aquarius woman. 6 on 10. The success of this union depends on compromises. The Scorpio man can be stumped by the Aquarian's constant demand for attention. The Aquarius woman would find his sarcastic sense of humor a complete turn-off. Pisces woman. 9.5 on 10. Jackpot! The Scorpio man and Pisces woman get along really well with each other, as they understand each other's emotional needs. Both have the indispensable elements of loyalty and dependability that the other requires. Famous Scorpio men personalities: Bill Gates, Jawaharlal Nehru, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bryan Adams, Kamal Hassan, Shah Rukh Khan, Jitendra Asudani.